Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Priya and in this channel I make delicious plant-based food. So today I'm going to make a pizza. Who doesn't like a pizza? It's Friday night and I'm going to use whole wheat flour, bread flour to make the base. Whole wheat is always better than white flour because in whole wheat flour the germ and the endosperm is not taken out and like in white flour. So the fiber, the iron, the magnesium, the B vitamins are all kept in. So it's a good way to get your kids eating this because all kids love pizza. And so for the topping, I'm going to make a basil pesto. So it's basil, walnuts, and I'm going to put some nutritional yeast, which is packed with B vitamins, and it's a B12 supplement for vegans. It has a cheesy taste. Uh, the rest of the toppings are corn, peppers, mushrooms, and sweet corn. So sweet corn has fiber, peppers have potassium, walnuts have omega-3, basil has vitamin K. So it's a cheat meal. Um, it's a meal that's naughty, but it can be made really good for you, and I'm going to show you how. So let's get cooking.
So here are the ingredients for my base, my tomato base. It's a holy trinity of Italian cuisine. It's called a sofrito. It's tomato, carrot, celery, and onion. And I'm going to use mushrooms, peppers, red onion, and for my bread base, I'm going to use wholemeal bread, which has a lot more fiber and nutrients. And I'm going to use some semolina, which gives a crispiness to the base. And for my pesto, it's extra virgin olive oil, basil, and I use cashews and walnuts as the nuts, and organic lemon. The juice and the zest are both used in my pesto, and some vegan B12 vitamins, which gives a cheesy flavor to the pesto. It's called nutritional yeast, but this is an optional ingredient if you're not vegan and you just want to make it vegetarian. Already the nuts and the basil and the olive oil is sufficient. So I used 50 grams of semolina for 450 grams of flour, wholemeal wheat flour. Then 7 grams of yeast with warm water, not boiling water, because boiling water will kill the yeast. Make sure that it's comfortable to touch. It's when you wash your hands, the right temperature to wash your hands is the warmth you're looking for. So when the bubbles appear, your yeast has worked and it's ready to be mixed with the flour. So in goes my yeast with semolina and wheat flour. And then I just mix it with a spoon with some warm water until I get a sloppy, wet base. I don't need to knead it at any time. It's a no-knead base. It's super easy to make. Anyone can do it. And it's foolproof, no-knead pizza base. All I've used is a spoon. And once the sloppy, wet consistency has been reached, that's it. Cover it and leave it for 30 minutes. So I fry the nuts, walnuts and cashews, so the oils and flavors are released. The lemon is squeezed and the zest has been grated. I kept a few basil leaves as garnish, and the rest of the plant is going to be used as my pesto. In the meantime, I'm making my tomato base. Carrot, celery, onion powder and garlic powder goes in. You don't have to use a tomato base from scratch. You don't have to cook it from scratch. You can buy a shop-bought passata if you don't fancy making the tomato base. But it gives a lot of extra flavor if you do. So here's my pesto sauce, nuts, basil leaves thoroughly washed, and 3 cloves of garlic, and about 3-4 tablespoons of olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, and a tablespoon of nutritional yeast if you're using. This is an optional ingredient. It gives a cheesy flavor and B12 vitamins for vegans who don't eat meat at all. So here's my pesto, it's ready. This can remain in the fridge for a week. The lemon gives it, preserves it for a week. So in my tomato base, I'm going to put some balsamic vinegar. Balsamic vinegar marries well with tomato sauce. It gives a sweet but sour taste, which is really delicious. I added some garlic granules as well. Some sea salt, about 2-3 tablespoons of tomato puree, and some plant-based cream went in to give it some texture, a creamy texture. These are all optional ingredients. The taste, it just adds more flavor. I added some green olives after I blitzed the paste. So that's my pesto ready. My onions, peppers, mushrooms chopped up, ready to be put on the pizza. Half an hour has passed and my pizza has doubled in size, exactly what I was looking for. As you saw, it was super easy to do, anyone can do it. So I took a pizza dish and I put a parchment paper on top and put some oil on the parchment paper. Don't forget this, otherwise the base will stick to the parchment paper. And then I start to assemble my pizza. Oregano goes very well with pizza. It's a marriage made in heaven. I put it in the oven for 10 minutes and then I add my plant-based mozzarella cheese and pesto. Otherwise it burns if it's in the oven for too long. But The pesto is largely enough. You don't really need this plant-based cheese. I just added it to give it that pizza look. If I'm really honest, the plant-based cheeses are not that great, and you can really substitute it for ingredients like this pesto, which is very delicious. Walnuts, cashews, basil, extra virgin olive oil. It's absolutely delicious, and you don't need anything else. So back it goes in the oven. I put some basil leaves as garnish. Again, I don't want to keep it for too long in the oven because I don't want my basil leaves to burn. This went in the oven at 250, the highest level on my oven. It was preheated when I put it in, and then it stayed for 20 minutes. But cooking times varies from oven to oven, so keep an eye on your pizza. Never leave it for too long. So here's the end product. It looks delicious. And it is delicious. I've had it before. Kids love it. It is the best way to get kids to eat about 7 different types of vegetables without even knowing it. As you can see, the base is perfect, beautifully cooked, with zero effort.